Hello everybody, I hope you're having a fantastic day. We've got some packages, so I'm going to do a mailbag. I think it's pretty much all Amazon this time, although there may be some AliExpress stuff creeping in. We'll see. This one is connectors, and these are 34-pin connectors, which in a previous mailbag, I had the male ones that went on circuit boards, and I had the female ones that went on circuit boards. And the reason why I got these is kind of odd, but as you're working on different computers, I'm sure you've seen the floppy cables have a little twist on the A drive, and I occasionally need that twist to not be there. So what I did was I got a couple of these connectors. The cables that are straight through are fairly expensive, and I've got a fair amount of ribbon cables already, so I just decided that for these, I think it's 25 of them in a set, I can crimp a connector on there, and so I can choose, do I want the top drive to be before or after the twist, and shouldn't really have any electrical effect. So these were relatively cheap, and for the cost of one cable I was able to get 25 of these connectors, so definitely the way to go on that. And I might wind up getting some straight up 34-pin ribbon cable and just fully making my own, because I might need some super long ones, and this will have me prepared for that as well. Next up, we have, I have actually gotten a bunch of these, and this is thanks to you guys. You know, when you use my Amazon link, I get some affiliate money, and I was able to buy these and a couple of other things with that money this month. But these are Goteks, and I know I've featured them on the channel before, but these are floppy drive emulators. And so the idea with this, floppy disks are getting old, and you know, they're becoming more and more unreliable every single day. And so what this does, you put a USB in there, and the way it starts is you can have 1,000 floppies on one USB, and you basically just cycle through here and say which one you want. Now that's okay, but there are some mods that you can do to these things, like this. And what this does is this adds an OLED screen and a rotary encoder and stuff like that, so that you can scroll through and you can actually see the name of the disk on here, as opposed to have to remember that the disk you want is number 231. So I do some modifications of these things. I've done this one here, which is where I basically added my own screen on here and you know, made this thing all fit in one drive bay. But the problem is that during the chip shortage, they changed the chip manufacturer. These used to be made by ST, which this one here might be an ST. I think this is, oh no, this isn't, this is a new one, or this is, yeah, a newish one. But a lot of these things are made by ST, and so the way you update them is to get some software from ST and stuff like that. But now there's some newer company, ARM something, making them, not ARM, but another company that kind of sounds like that. And so the modification procedures are slightly different. And so I got a couple of these because I want to do my own modifications. I have some ideas of things that don't exist at all. And so I got 2 black ones here and a white one here, and you know, so I've got some ideas for how I want to modify these things. I think there's a chance I might wind up breaking one, so I decided to get a couple of extra, and eventually these will all go in something. I have a purpose for all of them, and so they're just so handy. You know, again, the old discs have a nostalgic feel to them, but they're just you know, this is just better. It just is. It's better. So, okay, we're going to see what else we got. Actually, this one was partially opened. I guess, does that have a tear thing? Yeah. This one was opened when I opened up that white Gotek, and these are those little OLED screens, the 1306s or whatever they are, and this is a 0.92, is that correct? I think it's okay. It's a 0.92 inch OLED screen, like this one, and that will allow me to add the little OLED screen to the thing. Some of what I want to do is mount these things in odd places, and so anyway, I don't want to get too much into what I'm doing, but it's going to be pretty cool. I guess 0.91. These are white text on black OLEDs, and there were 5 of them for like $10. So I know I killed one of these by accident when I was making this thing over here. and I think my supply of these things is basically dwindled. So again, one thing has been really crazy is as I'm getting a lot of these parts, you know, this used to always be something I would get from eBay or AliExpress, but Amazon is cheaper. And this used to be something that I would always get from eBay or AliExpress, but Amazon's cheaper. And so, like, I've been buying this stuff, especially if you need things in quantities of 5 or something like that. Amazon's really been the way to go. So I've been real happy with that. Links in the description for all this stuff. But, yeah, I'm starting to love Amazon more. Okay, so this is my, well, this is my favorite knife, and today is my friend Colby's birthday, and I was debating if I was going to get him, I wanted to get him a couple gifts that are things that I really just like. He's a tool guy and stuff like that, so I wanted to get him one of these knives, and I couldn't get this one in time, and I was going back and forth if I wanted to get him this, or there's a Craftsman one that's identical. And he has a lot of the red Craftsman toolboxes and the black Craftsman toolboxes all over his garage. And so I went with the Craftsman, and I'm going to put this one in my garage because I don't have a quick access one of these knives in my garage. And I absolutely love this thing. My wife got my last one that I had stored in there. So here's a new one for me. And again, if you haven't seen this, this utility knife has a blade on the left, which I've got a hook blade. It's got a blade on the right, which I've got a standard blade. It has blade storage in here, which I keep pretty filled. And it's got quick change, which means you put it up here and push it to the right, pull it out, bam, there's your blade change. Just quick, easy peasy. I always tell people I don't use this for drywall or roofing or something that's going to get it really gunked up because it is a little bit more of a precision instrument than your typical drywall knife. But for everyday use, for electrical work, for use around the shop, for mailbag videos, this thing is awesome, and they're not too bad. I think they're like 15 bucks. And so I got another one for the garage, and Colby got one for his birthday. So happy birthday, Colby. And last up in this one, you know me, I'll probably stick more things in the mailbag, but last thing in this one is, I can tell what it is by the sound, these are fuses, glass fuses, QB, GT, FAK fuses, 15 values, 250 volts, and you've got 1 amp to 20 amps. And there's some different sizes in here. And one of the things that I was dealing with is when I left Alaska, I had a pretty sizable fuse collection, and there were a few things that just didn't quite fit in the moving truck. And one of the things I left was a bunch of my fuses. And as you guys know, I work on a lot of old crap. And, you know, you can put a fuse in there that's a little bit big, or, you know, maybe use a slow blow fuse. Sometimes you shouldn't. But ultimately, I'd like to try to replace the thing with the right fuse. It's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for the person who's going to own the thing after me. And so, you know, protecting this old stuff. So I got an assortment to go along with my other assortment. I have a lot more like slow blow and just sort of odd fuses. And so this is kind of the common thing. I needed a 2 amp fuse right off the bat for a monitor. And so I'm going to go in there right after this and put the proper fuse in. So this is the glass fuse kit. And I think it was like 10 bucks on Amazon. I mean, if you go to Amazon, or if you go to the auto parts store, you'll pay 10 bucks for 5 of these things. So I mean, to get, you know, how many? 250 is quite a deal. Next up, I've got a couple of packages that came in yesterday. I definitely want to make sure I don't cut this one poorly. So let's get in here and see what we got. Oh, okay, it's in a box. Nice. All right, so this is a Zahara 5-piece belt kit. And this is for a Sony cassette player. A little bug running around. This is for a Sony cassette player that I'm working on. A friend who gave me a lot of vintage tech asked if I would take a look at his cassette deck, and when I opened it up, all the belts had basically just melted. And so I did some feeling around. I've got some black stuff on me. I did some feeling around, and nothing else was messed up, and so I am just going to try changing out the belts and seeing if that fixes it. One of the things that's kind of odd is that's the thing that you would expect to be able to just go to eBay and find, and they did have them at eBay, but it was actually half price buying them from Amazon. And so there's a lot of things like that, like smaller electronics. Like if it's not in a hurry, I would go to AliExpress, and if it was a little bit more of a hurry, I'd go to eBay. If I was willing to get it at any cost, I'd buy it from Amazon. But lately, Amazon has been beating eBay on a lot of this stuff, and again, this is half what it would have been if I would have gotten it at eBay, and I got it faster. Next up, I hope I know what this thing is. I am working on a project, and it would be super handy if this was the part I needed. Feels like it could be by the weight, but we'll see. Ah, no. Okay, I mean, I'm not complaining about it, but these are, I actually don't remember ordering these. These are a bunch of EPROMs. Not packaged the greatest. I've had some issues with how these things get packaged, but they look like they're relatively intact. Let's see what they are. These are M27C512, which would make them, what does that say, 64K? That would be a 64K EPROM. And so these couple here are from ST. Oh, look at that. Is that, you see that? That looks like that has been rebadged. I mean, maybe not, but yeah, that's been rebadged. Look at that. Man, I've been having all kinds of issues with AliExpress, but you can see where it clearly said something else there, and you can see the MC27 or M27 right there. This has been rebadged. So let's get some more of them out. This has been like an epic. For one thing, look at this. This is ridiculous. Like, it's so dangerous when these pins break off in sockets and stuff like that. It's just, it's awful. And I'm getting to the point where I'm just not liking AliExpress anymore. Let's just see. So they're all at least branded the same thing, but let's look at another one. Yeah, they did a better job scrubbing that one. The one thing that's kind of interesting about these is that they can easily erase them. When you buy the other ones, a lot of times they wind up not erasing them. You can see it still says M27C512, and there it says M27C512, but they've clearly been rebadged somehow. So I don't know what the deal is with this. Sorry, my fingernails are dirty. I've been working. And again, very frustrating the way these things get packaged. You know, like I really have better things to do than to sit there and straighten out pins. But such is life, the way things have been going lately with eBay and stuff. But like, this is just, you have to buy extra to make it worth it. You know, because you're going to lose a couple. You're going to have a couple of these legs break off when you try to straighten them out. And a couple of them are just not going to work because, I mean, that is clearly used. Look at that. That is clearly used. I'm kind of interested in knowing if any of them have a different brand on there. But I'll do some more investigation on this and we'll see what we come up with. All right, next up we got one from Amazon. And it's another package inside of a package. I think I know what this is. This is, yeah, I had one of these in the mailbag that just went live as I'm doing this one, mailbag 44. And this is an HDMI scaler for component. Now, I've set up my Studio B over there that has, I use this and this is how I record anything that comes off the retro computers. But I do want another one of these for the mission control desk over there. I'd like to, my plan is to basically take one of these vintage computers and hook it up once a month. You know, hook up one a month that I can go through and sort of learn how to use that computer. So I've got a color computer 3 over there that I'm probably going to hook up with Composite to start with, and just kind of keep one of them out on a desk at all times for a month so I can play with it. And this is not the absolute best way, but just the cheapest. This is like $8, cheapest way to hook one of these up to an HDMI port and get a little bit better video quality. So yeah, these things are really handy. I think everybody should have one. You never know when you're going to come across an old device and need it. Just takes the Composite HDMI. It looks a little cracked, maybe some artifact to the plastic, and then and it's definitely cracked. Maybe I'll get Amazon to replace that, and then just the USB cable, which it does come with, and you can choose 720 or 1080, although I basically never notice a difference on those. All right, next up we have one from Little Diode Limited in, where is that? The United Kingdom. Let's see what this is. I think I was waiting for something from the UK. Let's see. It sure is tiny. So this is a little tiny dip chip, an ST93C something, and this is actually the way that a Tandy 1000 RLX stores its settings. So it has a BIOS chip that you can see the settings, but then it actually stores them on something like this. The problem is I thought I ordered 10 of them because I don't think there was much of a price difference, and I don't know why I only got one. But essentially what I want to do is I want to hack one of these chips, and I wanted to leave the old one intact. I know I can back it up with the EPROM programmer, but I was worried that I was going to do something to the chip and not be able to undo it, and so I decided that I wanted to have one chip that was the original and then one chip that I was going to hack away on. So again, I think there should be more of these because I think I bought extras, but right now I got one, so that'll get me started. Next up, we had one that had my address all over it, and these are some kind of connectors. Okay, these are 34 pin 2-row, so it's 2x17, 34 pin female headers, and these are basically what goes on the end of a floppy cable or maybe a floppy controller or something like that. So I have a few different things that are I'm going to be interacting with floppy drives, and I needed the double row headers. And you can use single row headers, but I don't really like cutting female headers. When you do, you know, you either wind up with a header that's too long or this pin wants to fall out the side and stuff like that. So really it kind of stinks, but if you need especially double row headers or custom female headers, you are a lot better off getting the actual size you need as opposed to the male ones that you can just kind of cut wherever. These are a lot better off as custom ones, so I think I got like 30 of them in there that I can use for some future projects. And I'm gonna guess that this is related. I thought they'd be shipped together. But yeah, this is the other side. This is the male side. And these are shrouded and keyed. Whenever possible, I like to get those, although it could change the design of my board a little bit. But, well, these aren't 90-degree ones, so these are a little bit easier to deal with. But these are male keyed 34-pin headers. Let's see here. Okay, so you know, when they've got that little notch at the top of your floppy cable or any kind of ribbon cable, you can keep the cable in the right orientation. And so, man, these things stink. They have a very strong plasticky smell. But these are, yeah, the opposite of this side. Now, these aren't keyed, and that's fine. One of the things you can do, too, is you can also put like a silver Sharpie or something and just put a line there saying that, hey, this is the way it goes. Not as ideal as having the key, but it's a possibility. All right, and last and maybe least, I have no idea what this is. This is from Banggood. This is a network cable tester, and I'm guessing I'm going to do a review on it separately. But I wasn't particularly looking for one of these, but they really wanted to send me one. And so this thing has, you know, basically a cable tester to tell you if it's if your cable's in the right order when you're crimping stuff like RJ45 network cables. And it looks like it has some other kind of interesting things to it, so I'm not going to do a full review on it, but let's go ahead and we'll give it the basics. So it has a multimeter function. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. Let's just open it up real quick. Okay, comes in a carrying case. And yeah, so we've got the unit itself. We've got one of these tickers. Basically what this does, this puts a tone through the wire, and then you can go in a bundle of wires with this thing. It's got batteries in it. You can go through a bundle and it'll start beeping when you're at the right place. Yeah, so we've got the tester here. Not a whole lot going on there, so I think it does deserve its own video, but anyway. So, I have no idea how many items you saw in this mailbag, but I just wanted to tell you to have a great day, and I appreciate you guys watching my mailbag.